I don't know why the Osbournes are on my TV right now. I can't watch them. Nothing against Ozzy Osbourne or anything, but listening to them talk to each other literally dumps me down. Good afternoon. Just breaking up sage right now into my little mini cauldron so I can burn some and send y'all some good vibes while I talk like I do. And this video is going to be strictly discussing like different empaths and what we deal with and how we protect ourselves, so people get to understand us a bit more, because there are more of us than people know. Even people who are not spiritual or awake have empathic tendencies and don't know that it's an ability. They think they're just emotionally a mess. Okay, I think that's enough sage. Let's put this in here for now. I gotta clean this altar, man. There's like incense and sage sticks everywhere. I make holy water with these sage sticks, so save the sage sticks. It's all about recycling your magical tools, you know? That's what's important. So we got the sage. Now I'm going to put a few drops of rosemary oil, because rosemary literally brings happiness into your home. So rosemary essential oil. And you just need a few drops because it's going to activate the flame and let it actually burn through. Okay, somebody on here has anxiety, because I'm shaking for no reason. My legs is trembling. I feel like I'm having a panic attack. One of you guys is dealing with anxiety right now? I got the jitters. Look at that. I'm shaking. It usually don't happen to me for no reason. Anyways, I'm off today from parenting, just for a little while. I know eventually I'm still gonna have to put some kind of parenting in there today, but my intention is to get my work done today, do my research on my project, do some sketches. I also wanted to do some writing today. I haven't been writing in my book, so I need to get that done. Oh my God, Shannon. That means that within 2 days, I'm next. Which sucks, thanks, because in 2 days I leave on a road trip to go see my family in Jersey, so there goes the lake plans for me. Oh, thank you, universe. How you are so damn unpredictable and up sometimes. Let me tell you. I'm slowly drinking my coffee right now. I'm burning out some sage and rosemary. Here you go, my lovelies. See the purple flame energies? Violet flame. Good vibes, good vibes. Happy Saturday. Here you guys go. Put the shit on the flow. Let it build up in the room. As you guys can tell, I'm a little drained. No matter how much I try to act like I have energy, I really don't. That's why I'm taking full effect of my Saturday and being in bed all day working. Literally. My ass is going to get bed sores. That's what I'm planning for the day. I think I'm going to go get my nails done too. I need to get them updated. Yes. I'm thinking more like a turquoise and black and silver maybe. Alright, let me shut this TV off so I can get started on the empath discussions. First off, there are many levels to empathy, okay? And that's something everybody needs to know. There are different levels to empathy. There's different abilities that come with the ability of empathy. For example, I believe that a lot of us witches, we started off with empathy and it opened up doors to the other abilities. Like, I feel like if we didn't start off with empathy, we would have not had these other abilities. Okay? Because I always feel like empathics don't realize that ability, it's very hard to control. And sometimes it does come with severe, darker feelings as well. It's not always just feeling, your traumas, but you're feeling other people's traumas. You're feeling other people's happiness. You're feeling other people's jealousy, other people's envy, other people's intentions, other people's agendas. You guys are basically like natural lie detector tests. Only if you trust in your ability, though. So that's why I say we have a lot of different levels of empathy, because there's people who don't even know it's an ability and they think they're just ultra sensitive emotionally, or it becomes a disability or a diagnosis for depression or borderline personality disorder or bipolar or all of these other illnesses that they want to diagnose you with. A lot of times it's just empathy. That's it. You just feel energy. You feel vibes of emotion, because emotion does have its own vibes. It has its own vibration and frequency that it, molds into when it's projected out by the human or a soul in general. Animals too also project out empathy or emotional vibes. It's not just humans. So with empathy, it gets misunderstood a lot by the outsiders. And the reason I say the outsiders is because in society, when I say outsiders, I'm talking about the usual society mentality. The outsiders tend to think that if someone is empathic and they're male, that they're a little bitch, crybabies, they're just hopelessly romantic. They're usually the ones that are the butt of the joke when they're in society, because as a man, society wants you to be always a brick wall and be firm and aggressive and, not show your emotions and all of this. So the male empath usually tends to get judged by the outsiders. Now, the women empaths, we tend to deal with the statistics of women from the outsiders. Oh, women are emotional messes. They're, always crying. And if a girl cries, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And they're so dramatic. But in all reality, they're empaths. Women, I think a lot of the times, we're natural empaths. You can click on a woman's empathy quick. Okay? If you're ever stuck in a situation with a woman, you can automatically make her feel your struggle, because women tend to always walk around earth with their heart exposed. So if you hit a soft spot on a woman, a lot of times she will feel that empathy. That's why, if you notice a lot of criminals, they want a woman judge or something like that, because they know they can get at those heartstrings. Women kind of have the natural ability to be empathic if they want to. Women also have the choice to numb it. And that's when you have the bitter women out there, the bitter women who are actually scarred. They don't know how to reflect that back. So they reflect it in a harsh way to make you feel what they're feeling. And I'm going to be honest, for an empath, if somebody tries to shove their misery into you, it's like they're force feeding you. Okay? And it can become toxic. And a lot of empaths also, we tend to become what we feel. If you're angry and you're not acting angry, we start to become hostile or have an attitude, and you're wondering, what the fuck did I do? But in all reality, we're just feeling whatever is in the air. It doesn't even have to be you personally. It could be even spirit energy coming through. And empaths can feel that also, and they can become that for a second. And then they're like, my bad, I'm just having a weird day or some shit like that. You have to observe an empath. And you have to actually know the patterns of an empath to be able to make them feel 100% like themselves and authentic. because like I said, some people don't know how to handle their emotions. A lot of people tend to mask their emotions. So a lot of empaths also tend to use or drink or gamble or, things like that, or find a way to be addicted to something to release all of the emotions they're feeling from other people, the dead, the world, frequencies, everything. It's always a lot. Empaths always feel like their plate is full and their shoulders are always weighed down by how many people they feel like they're carrying to help. Because empaths always want to help other people. Even if they have nothing to offer you, they still want to help in some way. So they get tired and they get exhausted. And then when they're tired and exhausted because they're busy helping you with their ability of empathy, they're not busy grounding at the same time, or cleansing at the same time, or resetting at the same time. So they become physically ill, or they become real severe introverts, and then they just wind up going ghost on people. It's not our fault. It's an ability. It's an ability that has to be charged, kind of like Iron Man with his little light on his chest, or, he has to make sure that's always activated and it's always lit up, right? We have to do the same thing with our soul work. We also have to do the same thing with our aura and our energy field. We're always giving and we run out, and empaths tend to always get hurt because they do that. They don't know exactly when it's the right time to help somebody else and when it's the right time to be like, it's about me. You guys need to wait because right now I need a recharge. It's about me. We don't know how to do that because a lot of times we tend to not know how to say no, especially when someone's in need or needs help or something like that. We're always the first one there, even if we don't feel like it. So we tend to ignore our soul and go with our conscious, because empathics have a very loud conscious. We have a very loud conscious. It doesn't shut up. It speaks. It yells. It's just, we feel guilty really easily if we do something that we know is against our character or wrong. And we got to come back and fix it, or this voice won't shut up. And that's the struggle with a lot of empaths as well. Another thing with empaths that a lot of people misunderstand is that we don't pick sides of scenarios unless we have the full information on both sides. And that gets people upset. Like family members and stuff, they get mad because you're not picking sides or being loyal. But in all reality, you're the type that likes to have all the information first before you paint a picture of somebody. And like I said, it aggravates people. You know how many fights we get into on social media or whatever because we're trying to understand both sides? A lot. And as bad as it sounds, even if you despise a group of people, you still have to try to feel them and understand why they do what they do. Why are they so sadistic? Why are they into that stuff? You have to still know both sides of the story. You can't go and put your opinion into something or choose a side to support if you don't know the other side's story. What if you're supporting the guilty side? You wouldn't know because you don't know the information. You'd be a terrible cop or a terrible judge. Let me tell you. I think I'd be an amazing judge because guess what? I ain't picking sides. Give me your paperwork, give me the evidence, and whatever evidence sounds more legit and all of that and fits the whole damn story, that's what it is. And like I said, a lot of people don't like that. But there are people out there that do embrace that because every time there's a debate, they're like, Jack, come here. We need your opinion. So in a way, it's a blessing too. Everything's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Everything. No matter what you think of, it has a pro and a con to it. And with empathy, we're always riding waves. All right? We're like professional spiritual surfers. Okay? We're just surfing the waves of frequency and shift and change and transformation and all of that. And it is what it is in our book. You know what I mean? To some of us who have been doing this for a long time and who have learned what their full essence and being is, it is what it is. And we're going to have to realize that. And when you realize that, you tend to not worry about things you don't need to worry about. And that is crucial for an empath because we overthink. We overthink about everything. Like, a lot. Like, if we don't get an answer, legitly, we're like crackheads trying to find the answer. Like, why is this way? Well, I don't know. Let's find it out. We're like the owls of spirituality. These kids are crazy right now. They're having World War III in my living room with a bunch of Nerf guns. They're playing Fortnite. I don't know what that is, but I know it's a very popular game, and they're playing it, but they're not playing it on video game. They're actually playing it like they're the characters. So be it. Just don't break my stuff. But back to what I was saying. Empaths, like, we get misunderstood a lot. We tend to, what do the outsiders call it? They call us flip-floppers a lot because we don't stay on a side of, we don't choose sides of fights or debates or arguments. We're more of the observer from the outside of both of you type. And like I said, that aggravates a lot of people. A lot of people. We have to always ground and shield. We are the one ability that always has to be on top of grounding and shielding. Because if not, we'll always feel like we're being swallowed whole by the earth and its frequency and the forces that are running earth right now that we're actually up against. You know, all the negative shit you're seeing. Yeah, we can become that. We can lose hope. We can change our character and our mindset because of it. We can fall for that vibration. And that's why we always have to be on top of grounding, on top of shielding, on top of protecting ourselves with our pendants and our crystals and, you know, all of this stuff. We have to. We have to be on top of it because let's just say an empath, y'all have a bad day, an empath will have a bad week. If you have a bad week, an empath has a bad month. It's just extended. It's more intensified, you know? And as empaths, we have a job here. And we got to remember that. And we can't be distracted by that. Okay? We can't. We have to wake other people up to feel other people. So that empathy can basically overwhelm the world. And we wouldn't have half the shit we have now. Correct? So we have to basically open up other people's hearts and other people's feelings of their soul and realizing that these other beings are souls as well, and that people need to learn to put themselves in other people's shoes before they have an opinion, a judgment, whatever the case. Okay, if you ain't, like, it's, who said it? Naughty by Nature, I think, said it. If you ain't from the hood, don't come to the hood because you won't understand the hood. It's the same in every lifestyle. If you ain't Indian, you can't understand an Indian. If you ain't Spanish, you can't understand a Spanish. But you gotta still remember, y'all all come from the same source, so you guys still have similarities. Embrace the uniqueness, but also embrace the similarities. You know what I mean? People don't celebrate each other's differences. And empaths know how to do that. If you say you're a religion they never heard of, they want to hear more. Why do they want to hear more? Because they're all into knowledge and they're all about learning and wanting to know. And, you know, just basically elevating. Empaths want to elevate mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. They just want to feel like, and this is just an analogy, and I tend to have those because I know how to be a drama queen with my analogies, but we want to feel like fucking Snow White when she wakes up and the birds is on our fingers and, you know, they're folding our blankets and shit. And we're the type of group as empaths that try to feel or put love or peace into the world because we need it. We need us to believe in the things we used to believe in as kids. Magic and true love and all of this stuff. Like, a lot of people don't believe in true love no more. It's rare. Women don't even believe in walking down the aisle no more. Okay? So times is changing, and the purity and the innocence that we all had in us as children is being destroyed. And in all reality, we need to amplify that back up. And as empaths, they're the closest thing to their childhood beliefs, if that makes sense. Empaths who actually work on their ability tend to also grow in belief systems, tend to grow new abilities. You either become, after an empath, you either become a medium, because that's usually what's next. Because if you can feel energy, that means you can also feel souls and spirit world. So you become a medium or a clairvoyant. Then you become psychic, because the spirit world actually teaches you about options and choices and manifesting and all that stuff too. A lot of times you become clear audio as well. Once you become medium, the clear audio kicks in. After clear audio, a lot of times if you're still working on your abilities, you can become a prophetic dreamer. You can also become psychic. You can also become seer. There's just so many gifts out there, legit, that people like. I think there's thousands of abilities out there. There's time travel, there's astral projecting, there's predicting the future within seconds. You say it, it happens within seconds. There's people who can see at night. There's people who can see through walls. X-ray vision. I have night vision sometimes where I can see at night. And also sometimes I can see heat thermometer vision. It's crazy.
Mama, my phone automatically signed me out for my thing for Minecraft.
Can you wait till I'm done though? That's like 5 minutes. You look like an elf today. He looks like a Keebler elf. Anyways, so like, this is why I hate being distracted. I forgot what I was saying. Back to what I was saying is that many other abilities come with being empathic. Empathic tends to be the door that opens you up to so much more. And I just feel like as empaths, we're supposed to help other people feel. Let them know it's okay to have emotions. If you're a dude, cry. So what? It might turn your girl on, actually, because you're not acting all macho and like, you know, fucking Hulk Hogan mentality type, you know? Sometimes a woman likes to see her man be sensitive or show emotions or passion behind things, you know? So society needs to get out of the mentality of an empath. It's toxic. If you care about society and you also feel so much emotion and you also feel other people's emotions and what other people are hiding and stuff like that, it's going to literally destruct you. Like, society is anti-empath. Society is pro-narcissism. And narcissists eat empaths like how snakes eat mice, okay? Since we love and care so much, we tend to give too many chances and we get eaten whole. We get sucked dry from everything we have. And it becomes really, really bad. We have a lot of energy vampires that feed off of empaths. Energy vampires are just people who are negative, and once you're happy, they always have to shit on it. They always have to give you a reality check or bust your bubble of happiness or something, you know? Energy vampires. We all have them. Actually, I kind of don't. I kind of don't anymore. I disowned all my energy vampires. Once they start acting like an energy vampire, click. You ain't talking to me for 4 days. I go ghost. It's the way it has to be. You have to protect your aura and your energy. Yo, I swear to God, I should be putting this stuff on t-shirts. I sound like spiritual Tupac right now in my head because a lot of my words are rhyming. Oh, but all I'm saying is empaths are the best people to have in your life. They will always get your struggle. They will always be there for you. They will always show you that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Empaths are also motivational speakers a lot of the time, or wedding wedding planners also, because they want your best day to be your best day. Anything that feels, EMTs, well, no, not really. I feel like doctors, EMTs, police, all of that, they can be empathic to a certain limit, but they also have to numb themselves. They also have to numb themselves because if not, they can't do the job. Like, you can't be a crybaby saving a child from sex trafficking and, like, dropping to your knees and crying when you're the cop that's trying to save them. Like, they try to numb the empathy in people with certain professions. Which is kind of wrong to a certain limit. Like, I can get you want them to be in saving mode, but they also have to be able to feel for their fellow humans. What else? Counselors, psychologists to a certain degree. A lot of them do it for the money. They don't really do it to be fantasized about your brain or how it works. Not too many of them are into that. Teachers tend to be empathic at times. Anything, animal shelters, um, except like puppy mills and shit, or these puppy stores like Petco and shit. They buy from puppy mills. They're not empathic. Like, what I'm saying is there's a good and bad in everything. And you do have empathic people that are part of trying to change it, but they don't realize the whole corporation itself is sadistic. And that's why we have to be careful. And that's why we are the chosen prey for narcissists or what else? Energy vampires, psychic vampires, and all of those types of energies. We're actually their first choice of meal because we're so forgiving and we're so always giving chances to people who don't deserve it. And I mean, like, not 2 chances and strike 3, you're out. Empaths, we give y'all like 11 type of chances until enough is enough and we're done and we're drained and we're tired of you feeding off of us. Then we disown you. That's just how it goes. So, as an empath, as someone who feels, who's passionate, empaths are here to change the world, to show people unconditional love and that it exists and that we must spread it to one another. Empaths are also here to speak for the defenseless who don't have a voice to speak for themselves, like children, like animals, like the homeless, like veterans, like whatever. We are here to be the voice for them. We are an army. Empaths are also an army in multiple dimensions. A lot of dimensions also have empathy. You have certain ET dimensions that have empathy. You have mythical. A lot of them have empathy too. Angels, empathy. There's even demons that have empathy. They all have some type of empathy. And it's not all of them, just like it's not all of us humans that have empathy. But we have to try to get empathy out there to eradicate this imbalancement of sadisticism and hate and divide and all of this. And we have to try to clean that up a little bit. It's like you have to think of the narcissism in this world as a big-ass pothole. And we as empaths are supposed to sprinkle love and heart and hope and, faith into this pothole to cover it up so that, nobody gets hurt. That's what we're supposed to do. And empaths, we're always getting stepped on. And a lot of times the mind can be like, well, enough is enough. This is bullshit. I give up, whatever. That's normal too as an empath. But you're here to do this and you're here to feel this. And you were chosen to for a certain reason. And that reason is because you're supposed to be able to understand and observe your species from an outside party because you are a chosen soul. Okay? It is. They claim there's 144,000 chosen, right? In the Bible, in the Quran, and all of this stuff, right? But they don't say anything about that number not being able to change or grow. Correct? So let's keep elevating and let's keep upgrading and feeling one another. Because when we feel one another, it makes us passionate to help or it makes us passionate to change it. And empaths, we do have to be there for each other because we do get lonely. And when we get lonely, we tend to have thoughts that are very disturbing. And when they get disturbing, a lot of times we do stupid things that we can never come back from. So we have to be there for each other. We have to remind each other to ground, to sage, all of this stuff. We have to. Because we are the mosquito nets to energy. And what I mean by we are the mosquito nets to energy is that we just feel everything. We're like, everything goes through us. We're transparent. We are transparent beings that are supposed to feel everything. We are the walking representation of what right and wrong doing is all about, which is our natural state. We all know right from wrong. We all know it's wrong to go beat on a child or an animal or, like kill your mama for like $10 or something. Like we all know this shit. That's common sense stuff, And that's what we live by, morals. And you need to make up your mind, little lady. Do you want to be in here or not? I think the dog has to go outside. We have to protect each other as empaths because, like I said, we're like bunny rabbits. You know, in nature, empaths are bunny rabbits. We get eaten by everything, but we represent like purity and beauty and, you know, like fluffiness and happiness and love and all of this. But everything eats us. That's kind of like how being an empath is. You're a bunny rabbit in nature right now. It's not fair, but it is what it is. And like I said, it makes you chosen. It makes you chosen to do so much more with your ability, so much more to make a change for the greater good, you know? It's an ability. I always say a lot of times when I'm venting or having my little bitch fits, empathy is the worst ability. And I say that because I feel so much that when we don't shield or we don't ground, we are literally devastated with the littlest of things. Our emotions are so imbalanced that we can blow things out of proportion. And a lot of times that can mean that the fact that we are just letting too much energy manipulate our ability instead of us taking back control of our own ability. This is why we're into crystals. This is why we're into certain items to protect us and, you know, certain jewelry and all of that. Because I feel like as an empath too, another ability that forms from it is sensitivity to touch. When you touch things, if you touch certain things, you can feel where it came from or you can feel what's attached to it. That's another ability that comes with empathy. So antiquing ain't as much fun anymore. Let me tell you. It ain't as much fun anymore once you get that ability of touch. But what I'm saying is, these abilities grow with you and your wisdom and your experience and how much you grow and how much you learn from everything that the universe is handing to you. Good and bad. You're supposed to learn from both. Okay? You're supposed to learn gratitude from both as well. As empathics, we forget that because we're caught in our emotion. And that's when we need to remind each other, hey, get back in gear. You're being a hot mess right now. Go ground and go woosah for 10 seconds and, you know, do the Go do the universal sound right now. And then come back on Facebook. That's what we need to do with each other. If we know we're in balance, we need to put each other back on check on our path because we know our abilities. We know each other. A lot of us have been together since like forever. Some of y'all have been with friends for a year, some 2 years, some 3 years. Like, we already know how it works. And a lot of us tend to say that we should like come together and be together and all of that. But I'm like legit, like in order to survive this spiritual non-stopping roller coaster of life, we will have to be up in that bitch together. Like, I'm not going on this roller coaster ride alone and you're not neither. We're going on this together and we need to remember that. We need to be each other's support. And like I said, there is a lot of people out there that have empathy or empathic ability and they're not awake, so they don't know. Start educating if you want to. Trust me. Once you say you're an empath, people are going to want to know what the hell that even means. A lot of people don't even know what it means. So then that's when you put your teacher click on and you're like, well, an empath is and a lot of times you open up people's mind and you teach them something new about themselves. Okay, I've made a lot of friends that way by just pointing out their ability. They would tell me their struggle and I'd be like, oh, you're having a lot of dreams? You know that means this, and this. And then a lot of times, like I said, if it's about them, people are always going to want to be curious to know what you know about them. It's part of that kind of like that selfish, like narcissistic a little bit that we all have in nature where, oh, it's about me. I want to know more. What are you talking about? Huh? It's about me. Me. We all have it a little bit. I have to admit that. But as an empath, we know how to shut that ego down. We don't let it come out and present itself. It's kind of like how the outsiders see weeds as a distraught to gardens, when in all reality, it's medicine and it's healing. But it doesn't look nice. Get what I'm saying? So our narcissistic traits, because a lot of us are narcissistic empaths as well, which they say is a dangerous thing, but I feel like it has its pros to it too, because you can be an empath and sensitive, but when someone steps on you, you can easily flip into a demonic being like Jack in the Incredibles type thing. So that is the pro on it. And like I said, you're an observer when you have both, or when you work on it. The more you work on yourself and your abilities and what you're able to do, I swear the stronger you will get at it. For real. That's all I'm trying to say. You got to stay on top of your game. And your game is soul work. That's number one. You know, everybody's so focused on actual, like, physical labor work because it gives you something back, like money. But soul work, it gives you a lot more back. You just don't notice it yet, but you will. When you wake up, you will notice it, I promise. You will notice the change in your mentality. You will notice the knowledge that naturally comes. The natural, what is it called? The natural DNA charge that's going through your crown chakra into your soul every time, you know, you have a tingle on your head or your ears are ringing. It's your soul literally like getting information from your source. And it's amazing. You're like a computer and your source downloads information into you and it becomes natural knowledge that just comes out your mouth. It's just the knowing. It's hard to explain the knowing, but you guys know what the knowing is. You just know, you know? You don't know how you know, you know. That is your natural power. Wisdom is an ability nowadays. It is. Wisdom and knowledge are an ability. You're an old soul, and you're teaching people from the many experiences you've had, not only in this life, but in many other lives. The wrongs of humanity from back then and now, and the ways to fix it, and things like that. This is why we have this ability, and this is why we were chosen to be put here with this ability. In such a harsh time, too. This generation's harsh. It's really harsh. But like I said, we're supposed to be like school fish, you know? When there's like a threat or an attack, we have to come together and make this illusion that we're this big, frightening thing. But all it is teamwork. All it is teamwork. We got to come together, ground each other, shield each other, send healing to each other. Remind people to get back in gear if you know they're slacking. If you have nothing but spiritualists on your Facebook and you know they're slacking, they're writing too many negative things, tell them, baby girl, time to ground. Baby girl, time to do a salt ritual bath. Hey, boo, it's time to sage that bitch. You know, like, we need to push each other to stay on top of this spiritual roller coaster ride so that none of us get lost in the darkness. Because it's easy to just want to give up and go on the other side of things. And we're too awesome for that. I always say, like, and it's the way I joke around, but it's kind of the way I feel. Some of us are way too pretty to die. I'm too pretty to die. So I got to keep, like, doing my purpose. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I joke around and I'll be like, hey, wait for the red light. I'm too pretty to die. Or, you know, like things like that. That's the type of mentality we have to have for ourselves. We have to remember our importance. Because society, the outsiders, don't want you to see your importance. They want you to just see yourself as a regular citizen that has to abide by laws, and you're nothing but a factory worker, janitor, or flipping burgers or some shit. You have no purpose. That's what they want you to believe. And an empath is there to remind you of your potential. Why? Because they have their potential, they know their potential, and they don't want nobody else to be lost. Like they were lost when they didn't know what the fuck this was. It's just empathy. It's an ability. Empathy is an ability, okay? And we got to remember that. And it has its job here. Every ability has its purpose, and its purpose is the same purpose, just in a different angle. We are here to serve one another, awaken one another, and save our humanity and save our planet from actually being like invaded or destroyed by other things. And we're actually supposed to let our kids live a better life, a happy life, you know, where they can ride their bikes and not have to worry about getting shot or robbed or things like that. The new world. That is our plan. The empaths are supposed to create the new world. So let's do so. I feel like we get so caught up in everything going on with everything in this world that we lose what our main purpose is as empaths. We're sobbing about deaths of young children and immigrant children and animals and all of this, and we're forgetting what we're supposed to be doing. Like, for real. Our purpose is to wake up humanity. Natural holistic healing. Realizing their earth provides so much more than they think. They don't have to destroy natural sources to create something inventive, to kill more trees to make money. Like, money is fake as shit. You know, you get loans and you get charged interest for something that don't even exist. It comes out of thin air. You know that, right? So you're making them rich off of interest for something that doesn't exist. It's literally not there. You just see it and you feel it, but it's not really there. It has no value in all reality. So this is what I mean. We have to stay out of the illusion of things too as empaths, and we have to protect ourselves. We have to always protect ourselves. And I'm gonna be honest, as an empath, you have to also be able to embrace your dark side. Too many empaths think it's all light. No, boo-boo. Being an empath just means you feel. You feel the world struggle. You feel what needs to be changed. You feel for another's story, or, you know, what's going on with animals or other souls. Yes. But that doesn't mean that you are open to being stepped on. That doesn't mean you are open to be taken advantage of or tricked or any of this shit. Because that's when the crazy comes out. Because we got to remember, empaths also come from all different types of culture. So don't think because you hurt an empath, she's going to go at home and cry and not want revenge or have that anger mode of empath too. Because we have both sides of emotion. We're not just like, oh, love and light, happy saint, you know, here I send you Saint Michael. No. Okay? A lot of us real veteran empaths that have been working on it for a long time, no duality. We know the dark and the light within us, and we'll use both to make sure we get our message across. So yes, we do get stepped on by narcissists. You know why? Because they have this theory where they know how to charm us. You know what I mean? Like, they're really good with playing with the empath's mind. And that's why we do get tricked once in a while. But when we notice that shit, we snip that right in the butt. We snip it right in the butt. Up, he's a narcissist. And if you stay too long, they tend to have a design web where it's hard for you to leave. So if you notice that right away before marriage, before all of that, you better get your ass out of that relationship. Because seriously, all it's going to do is have control over you. Because that's what narcissists are. They're like, they have a boss mentality. And they have like this businessman thinking. And they have to be the boss and the CEO while you're just the employee that says, yes, sir. That's how their mentality is a lot of the time. It's all about them and their power. So an empath will get the best relationship for the first 6 months with the narcissist. He would take you to Bahamas. He will buy you diamonds, all of this shit. And then start creating that web where he marries you, then he got you signing prenups, then all of this shit. Empaths have to be always connected to their conscious and their soul. Because your soul will be like, bitch, you know why he doing that, right? You know why he doing that, right? And then you're thinking about it, like, why is he doing this? And then you start thinking, and then your red flags go up. That's your empathy and your intuition kicking in with your soul. Your soul is your homeboy. Your soul is your ride or die. Your wingman. That's your wingman. So as an empath, you have to always listen to what you're feeling, regardless. Even if it sounds bonkers to other people, there's a reason you feel that way. Okay? Grounding also, very important tool for grounding for empaths. Trees. Put your hands on the tree. You don't really gotta hug the tree. You know, I know some of y'all care what people think. Y'all still on that phase. I get it. But put your hands on the tree, left and right hand. Your right hand, if you're a righty, is usually the one that's releasing, and your left hand is the one that's receiving. If you're a lefty, it's the opposite, okay? Your left hand, projects out, and your right hand receives. So put your hands on the tree, breathe, look at the design of the tree bark, and get lost for a moment. And then get back to business. You have to, as an empath, you always have to ground. And you're always passing a tree when you're walking. So there's no excuse to not putting your hand on a tree real quick and saying thank you for my air and all of this stuff, because it's seriously going to make you lose your fucking mind. And you're going to become demonic as shit. And you're going to become those negative vibes that you're feeling. You are. You are. People are going to poke, get you out your face, and you're going to allow them to. And then feel bad later. Don't do that. Just avoid it altogether. Protect your mind, protect your spirit, protect your aura from other people, since you are an empath. And don't forget, with empaths, we tend to also attract people's attachments that like to follow us home. So you got to also make sure you're wearing your shit all the time. If it's a cross that protects you, wear it. If it's a crystal, wear it. If it's, anything that you feel safe with, wear it. Because we are magnets. We're like fly sticky tape to beings, to energy, to a lot of things. So we always got to be on guard. We got to be like Tomb Raider, always with our head around, making sure nobody's trying to kill us type shit. But it's not kill us physically, it's kill our soul. Because there's a lot of things trying to kill our soul as empaths. And like I said, our purpose is to make other humans feel other people's pains, and to have sympathy and compassion and love, because there's too much hate. And hate crime don't solve nothing. Y'all just both end up dead in all reality. So stay on top of your grounding. Stay on top of making your mind straight, because your mind is what connects you and your soul. Okay? It's kind of like the message box. And sage if you have to, ground if you have to, do your thing to protect you. If you are living with narcissists, always keep one room, your sacred room, to escape in, that you can sage and seal up and all of that stuff. This is the way to protect your ability as an empath. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you are like empaths. So let me see, what can I compare you to? You guys are like air. Okay, y'all can go through everything. Y'all can touch and go through everything. And that's the same thing with an empath ability. Everything goes through you. The feelings, the agenda, the lies, the manipulation, the sadisticism, all of it. You can feel all of it. So you always got to be on top of your game. Got it? I love you guys. I'll be on later. I'm also going to be on my village group page. I'm doing a pendulum questionnaire thing, because I think it's going to help us lead to the directions of where, I got to get my shit done. So I'll be on later. I don't know what topic yet. I'll see what the guides tell me. I love you guys. I'm going to finish my coffee. Stay awesome. Stay blessed. And remember to enjoy your Saturday, your Saturn day, okay? And embrace your dark side, but behave, okay? Know your boundary and your limit with your dark side. We don't need to find out any odds in jail. And also take this weekend to recharge your soul. It needs it, okay? It needs to relax. It's working constantly. Even while you're sleeping, it's working. It needs to be recharged. I love you guys. Celestial blessings.